In a village nestled between dark forests and emerald fields, there lived a poor woodcutter and his wife. They had no children, but one stormy night, the wife dreamed that a glowing serpent coiled around her arm and whispered, "Take me as your son, and joy will enter your home." The next morning, the woman found a green snake curled on their doorstep, its eyes gentle and bright. She screamed at first, but the serpent only bowed its head. The woodcutter, too, was shocked, but when the snake pressed its body against their feet like a pet, the woman whispered, "Maybe, this is the child we were promised." They named him Sarban, and raised him with care. Sarban grew into a large snake, but he was kind and wise. He could speak like a human, and often helped his father with woodcutting, dragging logs through the forest with strength no ox could match. Yet villagers feared him. Children ran. Mothers locked doors. But Sarban never minded. At home, he was a beloved son. Years passed. One day Sarban said, "I wish to marry." His mother dropped the spoon in shock. Who would marry a snake? "I will choose my bride carefully," Sarban replied. "She must have a strong heart." He slithered to the town square, where 3 sisters were drawing water from the well. The eldest wore pearls, the second gold, and the youngest only a dress of rough cotton. Sarban asked, "Will any of you marry me?" The eldest laughed. "With a snake? I'd rather marry a frog." The second said, "Never. You'd bite me in my sleep." But the youngest, Nura, looked at him quietly. "If your heart is kind, then I do not fear your shape." Sarban nodded once. "Then you shall be my bride." Nura's sisters were horrified. Their parents begged her to reconsider. But she remained calm. A heart's worth is more than a body's shape. The wedding was quiet. Sarban made a little house for her near the woods, surrounded by singing trees and bright flowers. He brought her gifts, forest honey, fireflies in jars, feathers from silver birds. And each night, he curled near the fire, watching her from afar. One night, as Nura brushed her hair, she asked softly, "Do you never wish to be human?" Sarban was silent. Then he replied, "I was cursed before birth. Only love given freely can break it. But love is not pity, nor duty. It must bloom like a flower from the earth." Nura's eyes shone, but she said nothing. Time passed. One evening, when the moon was red, Sarban entered the woods alone. Nura followed quietly, curious. In a glade of spruce trees, she saw something impossible. Sarban shed his skin, and a young man stepped out. He had coppery skin, dark hair, and sorrowful eyes. He bathed in a stream and sang to the trees in a voice like wind. Nura gasped. Sarban turned, startled. "You should not have seen this." "I did not mean to spy," she whispered. "But why hide from me?" "Because the spell is tied to secrecy. Now the curse will tighten." The next day, he vanished. Nura searched the woods for days. Finally, a raven landed on her shoulder and whispered, "He has been taken to the palace of the Witch of Thorns, across the 3 burning rivers." "Then I will go," Nura said. The raven dropped a feather. "When you are in need, burn this." Nura set off, walking through forests where trees whispered her name. She crossed lands where even sunlight feared to linger. On the 7th night, she reached the first burning river. Flames danced upon its surface. A voice whispered, "Throw in something you love." She hesitated, then took off her mother's ring and dropped it in. The flames parted. At the second river, the flames asked for a memory. She closed her eyes, recalling her father's laugh, and let it go. At the third river, the fire demanded her voice. She opened her mouth to speak but made no sound. Yet the flames bowed and parted. Beyond the rivers lay the palace of thorns. Vines twisted like serpents, and the wind howled curses. Nura walked bravely forward. The witch, tall and silver-eyed, awaited her. "You came for the snake prince," she said. "But he now belongs to me. Only if you pass 3 trials will I return him." Nura nodded. The first trial was a room filled with seeds. "Separate the poppy from the millet by dawn," the witch said. Nura sank in despair. But then she remembered the raven's feather. She lit it. 100 mice appeared, squeaking and sorting the seeds until dawn. The second trial, a lake of glass. Walk across without breaking it, said the witch. Nura stepped lightly, imagining herself a leaf. But halfway through, a storm wind came. She nearly fell, but then remembered the silver bird feathers Sarban had once gifted her. She scattered them, and they floated across the glass, guiding her feet safely. The third trial, bring me the true face of your beloved. 100 masks lay before her, man, serpent, shadow, flame. She walked among them, heart trembling. But then, she closed her eyes, thinking only of the kindness in Sarban's voice, his gaze near the fire, his song in the spruce glade. She touched a plain wooden mask, cracked and weathered. The witch smiled bitterly. You have chosen true. Sarban appeared beside her, whole and human. The witch shrieked, turning into a cloud of thorns and vanishing. As they left the palace, Nura tried to speak but remembered her lost voice. Sarban held her hand. I heard your heart louder than words. They returned home. Sarban remained human, his curse broken not by beauty or obedience, but by love that faced rivers of fire, rooms of sorrow, and the silence of sacrifice. Years passed. People no longer feared them. Nura's voice returned one spring as she sang in the glade where Sarban had once bathed. And the trees, spruce, cedar, and pine, sang back. Their home became a place of stories, where children came to hear of rivers that burn, witches with silver eyes, and a maiden who married a snake not out of fear or magic, but because she saw his heart. And so the forest kept their love evergreen and true.